From very optimistic writers to beyond excited fans, this is everything we know about the new spin-off Star Trek Legacy. There's no denying the fact that the Star Trek franchise is an amazing staple of the sci-fi genre. Originally created by Gene Roddenberry, numerous writers have contributed to the mind-bending universe as it continues on. 60 years later, Star Trek Picard is in its third and final season, and showrunner Terry Matalas is optimistic and excited about the idea of continuing the legacy with another spin-off titled Legacy, of course. Matalas recently said, "In case you're wondering, Star Trek Legacy is what I'd call a spin-off show from Star Trek Picard, a 25th century show that explores the last generation and the next."
You say so.
So we'll likely see a series following newer characters and the offspring of the Next Generation crew. Jack Crusher, played by Ed Spielers, Sydney, played by Ashley Sharp Chestnut, Alondra LaForge, played by Micah Burton, and legacy characters that'll have their stories extended into the future, like Seven of Nine, played by Jerry Ryan, Raffi, played by Michelle Hurd, and potentially the return of series legend Captain William T. Riker, played by one of the most beloved actors in the Star Trek universe, Jonathan Frakes. Frakes recently revealed that he could play a role similar to the role Charlie played in Charlie's Angels, suggesting he could play the Admiral they check in with. A very exciting development indeed. There are many exciting storylines that can be built on between the LaForge family, for instance. Geordi has to balance his need to protect his daughter and the demands of his job with Starfleet. The LaForge family is one of the best additions to Star Trek canon, and featuring them in future stories is a must for fans. Also, the return of Jean-Luc's protege Ro Laren, played by Michelle Forbes, was a massive hit, and a truly standout moment in the Picard series. Bringing Ro Laren back resolved a 29-year-old storyline, and advanced plots involving Jack Crusher and the Changelings, villains first introduced in Deep Space Nine. Their conspiracy to destroy the Federation runs deep, and we can see the ongoing battle led by Captain Worf, played by Michael Dorn, and Commander Raffi guide viewers into the very dark side of the Star Trek universe. The two intelligence agents have already dealt with dark forces, and with their partnership just beginning, they could investigate many more aspects of the return of the Changelings, and continue to work to keep the Federation healthy. Another valuable addition to the spin-off series is Dr. Beverly Crusher, played by Gates McFadden. Dr. Crusher's character arc could involve training younger Starfleet officers to ensure that their medical and scientific training is top-notch. We might also see Dr. Crusher involved in the main story arcs of her son, Jack Crusher. These are just some of the potential ideas the writing team could easily bring to life. And production designer Dave Blass is fully on board with the writer's vision to merge the two generations of Star Trek, featured in Season 3 of Star Trek Picard, to build on the 25th century era moving forward. The optimism from the writers makes it seem like a no-brainer, right? It seems like Paramount has to make the Legacy series a reality. But it takes more than that to greenlight a show. At the end of the day, it's always about show me the money, so budget matters. Arranging a schedule around other shows in the Star Trek universe is also a factor. And, of course, cast availability matters as well. So what are the chances of bringing all the main characters back? Well, so far, those that have talked about it are excited, and they all want to be beamed on board. McFadden, for instance, told Screen Rant that she'd love to do a show that can break form in many ways and have all the characters in play. Star Trek legend LeVar Burton agrees, saying it makes a whole lot of sense. LeVar wants to make it happen so badly, we know that Jonathan Frakes is in, and he's already spitballing ideas for his character's role, and ideas for the overall structure of the characters. Frakes imagines a ship where the characters serve together. Jerry Ryan's Seven of Nine as the captain, Michelle Hurd's Raffi as the first officer, and Jack Crusher on the bridge. Frakes would also like to see Geordi's daughter Sydney Crash LaForge at the helm. Not to mention, there'd be so much room for various legacy cameos, or even full-time characters. And it would open up the universe in a whole new way. Speaking of the new changes, did you know there's a new captain in Picard? Captain Liam Shaw, played by Todd Stashwick. He's the commander of the USS Titan A, and plays the role of an antagonist against Admiral Picard and Captain Riker. Shaw is even hostile toward his first officer, Seven of Nine. That's a great role to play, a great character to introduce, and the best part? Todd loves the role, is a huge Star Trek fan, and has worked with writer Terry Matalas on projects before, including the 12 Monkeys television series. This puts Todd in the hell yes camp if he's asked to join the cast for the spin-off. In an interview with Screen Rant, Todd gives us a glimpse of his enthusiasm. And when asked about any special research he did to prepare for the role, his answer should excite fans hoping to see him in Legacy. Todd said,
"There's so many great captains from all the way down to Burnham. Like there's just great captains along the way. My Mego Kirk action figure right there, which was my first action figures in 1974. My cousin Tori gave me Kirk, Spock, and McCoy. So almost my introduction to science fiction entertainment was Star Trek."
I don't know about you, but those sound like the words of a man that would love to continue his role, and that enthusiasm should definitely excite everyone involved. So if you're excited, you're not alone. All around the world, Trekkies are sitting at their keyboards waiting for news and flooding the internet with comments. Social media platforms, private forums, movie sites, and fanfiction sites are all filling up with opinions. Fans want to see more relationships develop between characters that have never gotten the opportunity to interact, because, let's be honest, there's nothing more exciting than being introduced to new races, new worlds, new technologies, new struggles, and new challenges. Sign me up for that! And how about new character backstories and reveals about past events involving classic characters? Learning something new about a character that you've watched for years is very exciting. Fans are also speculating about the aesthetic of a new series and wondering how it'll look. For instance, the Orville's been mentioned in fan forums, and copying a similar look would attract new fans and keep faithful ones on the hook for yet another round. What if it had a darker feel? Well, diehard fans bring that up all the time, and they're ready for darker, more sinister storylines. If the Changeling story arc is carried on, something that's almost a certainty, it'll contain darker stories and would easily satisfy fans. At the same time, building the relationship between Captain Worf and Commander Raffi is also a fan request and a likely scenario. On the flip side, some fans are hoping for a lighter feel and argue that a darker tone may bring about the end of the Federation as we know it. And that idea is a hard pass for many fans. After all, it's supposed to be live long and prosper, right? It's a valid concern, but there are many ways to make the writing darker without burning it all to the ground. They've done it before, and I know they could do it again. Regardless, the hype is real, the excitement is real, and fans are ready. So there you have it, Trekkies. From beyond excited fans to very optimistic writers, that was everything we know about the new spin-off Star Trek Legacy.